Nabanggit din po natin ang Thales Sumitomo and which are maintenance providers. And yet we said na no real maintenance. So paano po nasama sa usapan si Thales Sumitomo? Did they used to provide the maintenance works and then they were terminated or cut, Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. President. Up until before 3 years ago, they were the ones providing the service. But because we still have amounts to pay, Thales and Sumitomo, they discontinued service. So almost 3 years, parang mano-mano lang yung maintenance ng kung sino lang ang nakakaintindi doon. Pero walang official maintenance na nagawa.
Meron po kasi ako nabasa na one of these two names involved naman sa allegation of fraud. Have you heard of this, Mr.
Not
President?
at all, Mr. President. In fact, Sumitomo is very reputable. Thales, I'm not very much aware with but I know that they are also a company that provides many different equipments to other countries, not just the Philippines.
So per the joint venture, how much does the government owe them, according to them, Mr. President?
There's no amount yet right now, but what I can say is that we owe at least 1 billion to Thales and about that much also to Sumitomo. So what Secretary Bautista is doing now is this. Can you maintain first our existing equipment, and we will have an agreement with regards to the cost of that maintenance. Do not include first what we owe you in the past for actually installing the system. Kasi doon pa tayo nagbabayad hindi man lang sa maintenance, installing pa lang. So parang sinasabi nila, hindi pa kompleto yung bayad, we're not going to maintain this for you. So now, because of this awakening, Secretary Bautista is now trying to negotiate a separate deal for maintenance. And as I understand, this is already ongoing, and I think that they've already done preliminary inspections for the maintenance.
Mahal din po pala ang maintenance kasi kung 13 billion yung equipment cost and then siyempre may bayad na tayo na portion doon pero may utang pa pala tayong 1 billion each to two firms. Wow, that's 2 billion and then
That's why we're seeking a separate
installation.
we're seeking a separate maintenance agreement. But again, kailangan maging matipid tayo at huwag magsayang ng pera. Pero syempre, pagdating sa kaligtasan, talagang nakaano tayo dyan. Wala tayong magagawa. Kung ano man ang kailangan bayaran para masiguro ang kaligtasan natin, ay talagang kailangan ay lulunin natin yun.
Yes, tapo. Tama po. That's why pagdating sa science, highly scientific equipment, medyo napag-iwanan po tayo. That's why sabi ko nga, we really have to go back to making our young people interested in science. That's the only way makahabol tayo.
Actually,
how many bananas, plane loads of bananas do we need to export so that we can earn the amount that we are paying for one CNS ATM equipment, Mr. President?
Yeah, that's why we also have to, you're right, we have to encourage also the youth in science and technology. But of course, we have other industries here, not just agriculture, semiconductors, for example, an IT BPO process, outsourcing process. These are all high-earning industries that are not too labor-intensive.
Yes, ma'am. But at any rate, Mr. President, just for the information of our sponsor, maybe the committee can take a look into this information. Thales, formerly Thomson CSF NCS France, supplied the DOTC with the GMDSS in 1998, but failed to deliver the purchase equipment, which resulted to its being blacklisted by the Commission on Audit. So this is the product of our online research, which gave us a Philippine Star report dated August 17, 2010. So matagal na po ito.
Yes,
So,
Mr. President, in fact, it was the issue of COA at the time for stopping the implementation of this new CNS ATM system from Thales. But that was 2010. But eventually, after 2013, they realized they got another supplier eh. DOTC got another supplier, Palpak. So they had to be able to use again this one from Thales. Mr. President, I mean, I have to look into that issue as you mentioned. Thank you for the information. But minsan kasi ang nangyayari pag nagpapalit ng administrasyon, nag-iiba-iba yung mga kontrata eh. Hinahanapan din ng problema. So gusto ko malaman kung totoo ba talong allegation na to dun sa Thales.
Yes.
But regardless, right now, they have the expertise.
Yes, if I may also interject with the indulgence of our sponsor. Minority Leader, Thales, is one of the most reputable when it comes to avionics, surveillance, radar, not only for air travel but also for defense. For example, in naval equipment, about 18 navies out of all over the world use Thales as their air combat management system this time. So that's how reputable Thales is.
And thank you
Thank
to
you.
thank you, Mr. President, to our Vice Chair of Public Services.
yes,
Maybe the Vice Chair of Public Services can take my place here for a while. So, okay.
so yes, there are firms which have reputable products, but this concerns a specific, specific contract with our government. So kung cleared na po yung pangalan nila and there is no amount due, iniisip ko kasi if maybe the reason why there is still an unpaid amount in favor of Thales is the government may have also have a claim against it. So baka offsetting ang gusto ng gobyerno natin. I do not know,
Yes,
Mr. President.
Mr. President, it's also come to my attention that there was a disallowance nga in 2011, but in 2013, COA lifted it upon finding the project is all above board. So,
Above board.
pwede rin talagang, alam mo, baka na politika rin kasi ito eh. Parang, teka muna, kabago kaming pasok dyan, tingnan muna natin, hanapan ng issue.
Sige po, Mr. President. Ang isa pong recommendation, and siguro this will be my last point, Mr. President.
Yay!
We are urging the DOTR to fast track the conduct of feasibility studies on the proposed NAIA privatization. But meron po bang koneksyon ang status of the NAIA sa glitch?
Well, Mr. President, it is a study because in some countries, the air traffic management system is being done by a private company, the private sector. Now, whether or not we're ready for that, there has to be a study, whether it's acceptable for our national security concerns, etc. So when I spoke to Secretary Bautista, these studies are actually being conducted now by JICA. Also, when it comes to the privatization of the airport. I'm saying this also, not just for the air traffic control, but as the airport management in general. We've seen that in some airports managed by the private sector that is reputable, like in Cebu, parang mas maayos doon, pati yung construction ng mga bago nilang terminals.
Pero doon po sa glitch noong January 1, 2023, was this purely a CAAP responsibility, CAAP responsibility, or was NAIA in one way or another responsible for the glitch?
No, it's purely CAAP. It's not
Purely CAAP.
MIA. No.
Okay. And then, ito pa pong isa, last na lang po dito pala, the separation of function of CAAP as an airport regulator and operator. So meaning to say, CAAP is one of those few government agencies which still wear more than one hat. Di
Yeah,
ba?
just like
Pagcor.
PAGCOR. Yes.
Meron pa sigurong iba, but CAAP is one of them. So how will this improve CAAP's functions, ma'am? This proposal to separate the functions.
Well, first of all, CAAP will be is already overburdened being the operator and the regulator. So our proposal is for CAAP just to be the regulator and then for a separate body to be in charge of operations. In that way, CAAP can call out the operator if they're not doing their jobs properly. Kasi ngayon, CAAP is calling out themselves, which, as we know, took a while for them to communicate to the public that it's actually they dropped the ball.
How many, what are the airports under being operated by CAAP, ma'am, as of the moment?
Wala.
I know that
All.
basically all airports.
All. So all,
81 airports.
okay, all 81 airports. Okay. And then all these 81 airports are also under CAAP as regulator.
Yes, Mr.
That's
President.
it. So, okay. So that simplifies everything. So the proposal is there will be a new government body to operate all the airports, 81 as of the moment being operated by CAAP. CAAP stays as the regulator of all of the airports.
Yes, Mr. President.
So thank you, and I hope we succeed so that we can succeed in doing this, so we can follow it for PAGCOR and some other agencies wearing more than one hat as regulator and operator, competitor of the others being regulated by the agency. So with that, Mr. President, I'd like to congratulate our chairman, our sponsor, for a well-written and comprehensive report. And then siguro yung pending request lang, ma'am, if the committee can also just monitor what has happened, what CAAP will do with its administrative investigation, Mr. President. So thank you and congratulations,
Yes.
Mr. President.